I never thought my grandma would be the reason I'd end up doing something so wild with our horse, on camera no less. But here I am, standing in the middle of our family ranch, gripping my phone with shaky hands, questioning every life decision that led me to this exact moment. The sun is dipping behind the hills, casting a golden glow over the fields, and in front of me stands Midnight, our big, stubborn, and slightly mischievous black horse. He looks at me like he already knows I'm about to do something ridiculous. And honestly, he's not wrong. It all started earlier this morning when my grandma, who, by the way, is not your average sweet cookie baking grandma, stormed into the barn with that determined look in her eyes. You know, the kind that means she's got an idea, and no one is talking her out of it. She's the type of person who believes in just going for it, no matter how crazy the idea sounds. And when she said, "Grab the camera, we're about to make history," I should have known I was in trouble. At first, I thought she was joking. I mean, what could she possibly want me to do with a horse that needed to be recorded? Midnight is already a handful on a regular day. He has a habit of pretending he doesn't hear you when you call him and making an absolute mess of the barn whenever he gets the chance. But my grandma was serious, more serious than I'd ever seen her. She had this twinkle in her eye, that mischievous sparkle that meant she was up to something. And let me tell you, when my grandma has a plan, there's no escaping it. She dragged me outside, handed me the camera, and pointed at Midnight like he was about to become the star of his own movie. "Trust me," she said, "this is going to be amazing." That's when I knew. This wasn't just about Midnight. This was about me. And whatever was about to happen next, there was no turning back. As I stand here now, facing Midnight with the camera rolling, my heart is racing. My grandma is grinning like she already knows the outcome, and I have no idea if I should be excited or terrified. All I know is that whatever happens next is about to be unforgettable. And the best part? You're about to see it all. I take a deep breath, trying to steady my hands as I keep the camera rolling. Midnight flicks his ears, shifting his weight like he's getting impatient. My grandma, still grinning, crosses her arms and nods toward him. "Go on," she says. "It's now or never." I glance at her, hoping for some kind of last-minute explanation, but she just gives me that look, the one that says she already knows how this is going to play out. Meanwhile, Midnight eyes me like he's in on the secret too, which doesn't help my nerves one bit. "How did you even come up with this idea?" I ask, stalling. Grandma chuckles. "You think I spent all these years on this ranch without learning a thing or two? Trust me, you'll thank me later." That's a bold assumption because right now, I can't imagine any possible scenario where I'd be grateful for this. Midnight lets out a loud snort, as if to remind me that I don't have much of a choice. I should back up for a second and explain something about my grandma. She's not like other grandmas. There are no knitting needles, no rocking chairs, no quiet afternoons watching game shows. No, my grandma is a force of nature. She grew up on this ranch, rode horses before she could walk properly, and never let anything, or anyone, tell her what she couldn't do. She's the kind of person who believes life is meant to be lived full speed, no breaks. And because of that, I've spent my whole life getting roped into things that most people would never even consider. Whether it was learning to ride bareback when I was 5, or helping her wrangle a runaway calf in the middle of a thunderstorm, I've come to expect the unexpected with her. But this feels different. I shift my focus back to Midnight, who is standing there with a look of pure amusement. I swear, if horses could laugh, he'd be rolling on the ground. "You better not make this harder than it has to be," I mutter under my breath. Grandma claps her hands once, full of excitement. "Enough stalling! The world is waiting." The world? Oh no. That can't be good. My stomach flips as I realize just how serious she is about this. Whatever happens next, it's going to be big, and there's no way out of it now. I grip the camera tighter, my pulse quickening as Midnight shifts again, clearly sensing something is about to happen. The air feels heavier, charged with a kind of energy that makes my skin tingle. My grandma is practically bouncing on her heels now, her excitement impossible to ignore. Whatever she's planned, it's not just for fun. There's something bigger behind it. But what? Just trust me, she says, her voice softer now, almost reassuring. Midnight's ready. You just have to be too. That's easy for her to say. She spent her whole life working with horses, reading their every move like a book. Me? I've always been somewhere between cautious and downright terrified when it comes to anything unpredictable. And Midnight, for all his charm, is nothing if not unpredictable. I glance back at the barn, half wondering if I can make a run for it, but then I catch something in my grandma's expression. Beneath all that excitement, there's something else. Something serious. This isn't just about making a fun video or pulling off some crazy stunt. There's a reason she's pushing me into this. The camera in my hands feels heavier now, like it's holding more than just a recording of whatever's about to happen. Maybe she wants to prove something, to me, to herself, or maybe even to Midnight, or maybe, just maybe, she knows that I need to prove something to myself. Midnight suddenly lets out a deep huff, like he's done waiting. My heart pounds. Whatever this is, I have a feeling it's about more than just one moment. And the only way to find out? Press record and take the first step. I swallow hard, my fingers hovering over the record button. Midnight's muscles tense, his ears flicking forward like he's sensing my hesitation. My grandma watches me carefully, her arms crossed, but there's no impatience in her expression now. Just quiet expectation, like she already knows how this is going to play out. The wind shifts, carrying the distant sound of birds and the creak of the old wooden fence. The moment feels stretched, like the universe itself is waiting for me to make a move. I feel the weight of the camera in my hands, the weight of my grandma's trust, and most of all, the weight of my own doubt pressing down on me. What if I mess this up? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Grandma smiles, but there's something serious behind it. Then you try again. Midnight lets out another huff, his hooves shuffling against the dirt. He's waiting. The camera is waiting. And deep down, I know my grandma is waiting too, not just for me to do this, but to believe that I can. I take a deep breath and step closer. Midnight's dark eyes meet mine, steady and unwavering. He's not scared, so why should I be? My heartbeat pounds in my ears as I finally press record. The camera blinks to life, capturing everything. The golden light spilling over the ranch, the steady rise and fall of Midnight's chest, the way my grandma nods ever so slightly, telling me without words that this is it. And then, just as I move to take the next step, Midnight makes the first move, and in that split second, everything changes. Midnight moves before I can react. In one swift motion, he jerks his head up, his muscles rippling as he takes a few quick steps to the side. The sudden movement sends a jolt of panic through me. My grip tightens around the camera, but my feet hesitate. My grandma doesn't flinch. She just watches, like she knew this was coming. "Stay with him," she calls out, her voice calm but firm. I don't even have time to process what that means because, in the next second, Midnight does something I really didn't expect. Instead of settling down, he starts moving, fast, not running away, not spooked, but with intention. And worse, he's heading straight for the fence. My stomach drops. Midnight isn't just testing me, he's challenging me. And for the first time, I realize this isn't just about filming some fun little moment for my grandma. She wanted me to be in the moment, to trust myself, to trust him. But right now, my brain is screaming at me to back off. "Grandma," I start, but she just shakes her head, stepping forward like she's daring me to keep going. "You've got to move with him," she says. "Not against him." The words barely register before Midnight kicks up dust, picking up speed. The fence is getting closer. I should stop. I should back away. But something in my chest tightens, something that's been there for longer than just today. I realize, suddenly, that this moment isn't about Midnight at all. It's about me. Grandma knew. She knew I needed to stop second-guessing everything, to stop hesitating, to stop thinking I'm going to mess up before I even try. The camera is still rolling. My breath catches. And then, before I can think too hard, I move. I don't think. I just react. My feet push off the ground, and before I know it, I'm running. right alongside midnight. My heart pounds, matching the rhythm of his hooves as I keep pace, feeling the rush of the wind against my face. The fence is getting closer, but somehow I'm not afraid anymore. Midnight isn't running away, he's testing me. And for the first time, I don't hesitate. I match his stride, moving with him instead of against him, just like Grandma said. Then, just as we reach the fence, Midnight does something I never saw coming. He stops, just like that. 1 second, we're moving in perfect sync. The next, he plants his hooves and stands completely still. I stumble forward, nearly losing my balance, but I manage to catch myself at the last second. My breath is ragged, my heart racing, but I did it. I didn't back down. A slow clap breaks the silence. I turn to see my grandma grinning, her hands resting on her hips. "Now you get it," she says, nodding approvingly. I blink, still trying to catch up. "Wait, this was the plan?" Grandma laughs, stepping closer. "I wasn't trying to make you do anything crazy. I just needed you to trust yourself." Midnight knew what he was doing the whole time. I look at Midnight, who is now standing calmly, as if this was all just another day for him. And maybe it was. Maybe the only one doubting anything was me. I let out a breath, realizing just how much this moment meant. Not just for me, but for Grandma too. She's been trying to teach me this lesson my whole life. And now finally, it clicks. Then, just when I think the moment is over, Grandma reaches into her pocket and pulls out her phone. "Oh, and by the way," she says, smirking, "I filmed you the whole time." My jaw drops. "What?" She holds up the screen, showing a perfect video of me running beside Midnight, my hesitation turning into confidence, my fear disappearing in real time. The irony hits me all at once. I thought I was the one recording a big moment. Turns out I was the big moment. Grandma winks. "Told you we were making history." I stare at the video on Grandma's phone, watching myself in a way I've never seen before. There I am, running beside Midnight, fearless, moving with him like I actually belong there. It doesn't even look like me, not the version of me that overthinks everything, that hesitates before taking a step. But it is me. And that realization settles deep in my chest, warmer than the setting sun behind us. I shake my head, still catching my breath. "I can't believe you filmed me." Grandma laughs, slipping her phone back into her pocket. "Oh, come on. You would have done the same thing if you knew how this was gonna play out." She's not wrong. Midnight lets out a deep sigh, like he's officially done for the day, then nudges my shoulder with his nose. I reach up instinctively, running my hand down his sleek neck. He was in control the whole time, just waiting for me to catch up. "So what now?" I ask, glancing at Grandma. She shrugs, that knowing smile still on her face. "That's up to you, kid." I look back at Midnight. The fear, the hesitation, it's all gone. It's been replaced by something else. Confidence, trust, the realization that I was capable all along. I lift the camera in my hand, remembering why I started recording in the first place. This was supposed to be a fun little moment to share, maybe something to laugh about later. But somehow, it turned into something bigger. A lesson I didn't even know I needed. I press stop on the recording and tuck the camera away. Maybe I'll share the footage. Maybe I won't. But either way, I'll never forget this day. Grandma starts walking back toward the house, calling over her shoulder. "Hope you're ready because tomorrow I've got another idea." I groan, but there's a smile on my face. "Of course you do." Midnight flicks his tail and trots back toward the barn, as if to say he's ready for whatever comes next. And honestly, I think I am too.